In this lecture, you are going to go deep into CapCut. By the end of this lecture, you will master the skill of using keyframes on CapCut. So, what is a keyframe, where to find it, how to go about it, and also with full practical examples on how to use keyframes in CapCut PC. Let's get started. Keyframe is a frame that indicates the beginning and the ending of a change made to a parameter of your video. In the timeline, in simple ways, it's when you set a point on a parameter and you set another second point on the same parameter with the different values in between, that the changes that happens, that's what keyframes are.
What?
It still sounds complicated. It will be easier as I will show you practically on CapCut software. When you open CapCut software, you can find keyframes on the right side of the software. So these are parameters that position scale. All these are parameters, then when you look next to them, they have values right here. And if you look at the timeline, you will see a diamond which represents the start of the keyframe. When you look carefully in the timeline on this, I've set a keyframe right there. Now it's just one keyframe we've set. So there's no changes to the values to the parameters where nothing is happening. Then when I go forward to somewhere here, and then I make a keyframe on that same parameter, you can see there's another point on this very place, and also the blue sign showing that I've set a keyframe on that very parameter. And now there's no changes made to the value that's 70. So the value is still the same, and there's nothing changing. So basically, we've not done anything to that. Now let me show you guys when I increase that 90 now, this new keyframe reset, and then when I use this arrow to go to the last keyframe that we set, you can see the value is 70, and then the cat also changes with the size. When I remove the cursor on it, you can see it increases with the size, and that shows the keyframe has been done with this very 2 points. And one thing to remember, always make sure you select that very video before setting the keyframe, and also you move the playhead to the exact point. You want the keyframe to be set at whenever you see this diamond thing next to a parameter. That means you can set a keyframe right on that spot. In this lecture, I'm going to use a video, an image, an audio, and also a text to show you practical examples of how to use keyframes in CapCut PC. The first skill you will learn is to zoom in and out. Let's go ahead and do a zoom in. As you can see, the camera is slowly zooming in. You'll see a lot of creators do this to increase engagement and add some movement to a stale video. You can also do dramatic zoom-ins or dramatic zoom-outs. And the way you do that is by placing keyframes closer together. And the way to do a slow zoom in or zoom out is by placing keyframes further apart. Let me show you how this is done actually in CapCut. So here I've got a video clip here of a teacher talking to her students, and for a keyframe, you just need to select the video that you want to add a keyframe to, and then scroll over to this button here, I'll zoom in. This is the keyframe button, so when you click this, you'll notice in the video clip section, there's now this little diamond here that lets us know that we have a keyframe here. It has been placed, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is scroll ahead to the end of this video. It's going to automatically place a keyframe when I do zooming in or out. So, let me place the keyframe at the end of the video and make the scale larger and reposition the clip. When we play the video, you notice slow zooming. But if we drag this little diamond near the start of the video and play it, you will see quick dramatic zooming. I hope that started to make sense, and if not, no problem. You will see the next effect, and it will make you understand the whole skill. The next effect is the color shift effect with the keyframe. So right now, inside the timeline, you just have the clip selected, no keyframes have been added, and what I'm going to do is go to Adjustment and click the keyframe button over here, and then I'm going to go down to Shadow and literally tick this up to 1. No one's going to notice the difference there, just so that way the keyframe knows that we plan to adjust the color. Then we're going to scroll ahead. Place another keyframe and then go back and turn this saturation all the way down to -50. Now we have this black and white situation going on here. Now what's going to happen is, because we've told this keyframe at this point we want saturation to be -50, and we already told it at this point that saturation has to be 0, because it's saving all the settings that have happened to the clip. It's all those color settings that have been, it has to be at that keyframe point. Now when we click to play, it's going to slowly turn to a black and white clip. As you can see now, the whole screen is black and white because of keyframes. If we put those keyframe points closer together, so if we do that and then make the saturation down now, it'll switch to black and white a whole lot faster. We click play to see how quickly it shifts that time, because the keyframe points were closer together, and that is how you could do a color shift from color to black and white using keyframes. For our next keyframe effect, let's talk about adjusting the volume up and down for certain sections. So there are actually a few use cases for doing this effect. For example, in the timeline, I've got some intro videos I'm showing, and I probably want the music to be loud as I'm showing that there's no talking going on, so people can enjoy the music and see the clips. But then it gets to a point where you're going to be talking in the video, and now you want the music to go quiet for a bit so people can hear you talking as you share something, and then it goes back to clips where you want the volume to be loud again as you're showing those clips, so you need the volume to go up, down, for all these different parts in your video. Keyframes can allow you to adjust the volume so you can have one track going. You can have the volume go up, down throughout the entire project. Now for the effect, what we want to do is click on the sound and click the keyframe button. At the start is always a good spot. 100 volume, awesome. Then when we get closer to the end, we want it to gradually dip off. So I'm going to place a keyframe just a little bit before. There we go. And then go right to where we're about to switch over. Click a keyframe again, and then drop this down to something like -15 for the volume to get low. So I have it down at -15. So now, when we click play here, let's just take a look.
Take a moment to peruse through the plethora of animation filters available. This is where the magic begins. Swipe left.
All right. And that sounds pretty good, but we'll keep going forward now. We want the volume to go up, so I can place another keyframe. We'll leave it still at where it is. Scroll ahead to right here where we want the volume to be back up at 100%. So we will drag that right there, check mark. And now when we click play here, we'll hear that volume go up.
Take a moment to peruse through the plethora of animation filters available. This is where the magic begins. Swipe left.
Boom. We've got that going. Now, it could probably make sense where that effect could be useful if you've got both clips and you got clips where you're talking. You can use that same soundtrack with the keyframes and adjust the volume up and down. And now let's jump to the text reveal effect. So first of all, let me add default text. So guys, I have added the text. Bring the image of the cat and let it be overlay the text. Then click keyframe and move the cat bit by bit with the text, adding keyframe at the end of the image. Then move the cat till the end of the text. Now let me play it once and show you. As you see, the text is revealed behind the cat movement. Now let's move on to a super cool thing you can do with keyframes, which is animations. So for this example, I found this map of the world here, and I also grabbed a PNG airplane. So I'm just going to put this overlay right over the top of our map in Australia, resize it to fit the map, and what we can actually do is with keyframes be able to fly this plane to America in just a few seconds on the map and make it look like a cool kind of travel video. So I'm going to click keyframe at the start of the plane image, then move the plane to the exact location of USA, and the software automatically put a keyframe. And now, when we click play on this video, the airplane flies to its destination. That's amazing, isn't it? But that's just one type of animation. You can take this to a whole other level. So I found this stock image of the man, and I'm just going to make him cross the whole world. What we're going to do with the keyframes, we are going to animate him walking around here. So all I'm going to do is click keyframe, scroll ahead a little bit, going to move him up and down, like I'm taking little steps here, up and down. You want to go very slowly walking across the screen. And now this is what we have using the keyframes. We have animated walking across the world. We could do whatever we want with this, and you could literally make fun little animations of just pasting your head onto someone's body, moving different characters around the screen and giving them voices and stuff like this is a whole lot of fun. I love doing this inside of CapCut. All right, let's move to a little bit more of a serious effect here, which is tracking people using keyframes. I just found this stock clip of people walking in a street, and what I actually saw is this person in blue t-shirt stops to let people pass, and we want to track this person. What we could actually do is click a keyframe, and we'll scroll ahead and click another keyframe, and we're going to zoom in here, scroll over to this man with his bag, who is probably a very moral person, and then as he starts to move, we are just going to follow him. And as CapCut just auto places a keyframe, we can scroll ahead a bit and scroll down a bit, scroll ahead a bit, scroll down a bit. We're just going to try and keep him as centered as possible, just every little bit. We're going to try and keep him at the center of the frame. There we go. We're just going to keep repeating this process till we get to the end of the clip. And now we have this effect. Boom, we have locked onto the target. He's making a stop for it. We need to follow him. So a very fun effect, especially if you film something interesting happens in the background that you want to track around. You can use keyframes to be able to do something like this. And that's the end of our lecture. Go on for more tips and tricks to master editing using CapCut and act as a professional video editor. See you next lecture.